Hey, Lindell.
Hi, I'm gonna run off for just a second, but I will be back before 5.
Okay, we'll be here. Hey, Andy.
I'm assuming that you're all experiencing the same thunder and lightning and rain, so it's possible we might get disconnected.
Yep, I guess we'll see. I'm on the good like secure with the plug into my computer internet connection here in the office, so
Ah,
maybe more stable than usual. We'll see.
I love thunderstorms. So Ashley Marshall is absolutely delightful.
Yeah, totally enjoy spending time with her, and
Yeah,
yeah, feel lucky to have yeah, just a good person to finally kind of collaborate with and
yep.
gets what I'm saying and is operating in kind of the same zone. So it's really helpful.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys got to meet and talk today. That's really wonderful.
yeah, that was really good. Very excited. I feel really, we also bonded over the fact that she spotted a corgi, and that just stopped all conversation for like 5 minutes, right? Because
Yeah,
I am also a corgi. She has a corgi, I had a corgi, so we're like, oh, corgis.
that's great. Yeah. She definitely appreciates that stuff. I just animals in general. We're always observing things on the, whenever we meet on the
Yeah,
mall or something. So that's great.
it's great.
Well, she may be actually joining us today. I don't know. I think her intent was to come to all 4 committee meetings, which is a big ask. She
It is a
did
big,
look at me and say, "Really?" The other day she said, "Really? 2 committee meetings on Friday evening?" I'm like, "Sorry, I just trying to accommodate people." So we'll try not to do, maybe to keep her coming. We'll try not to do Friday evenings anymore.
yeah, she said she's really jumped in a very short period of time. She's really jumped in and committed, and
Yeah,
she's impressive. We're very lucky, I think.
absolutely. And she's really she probably mentioned this, but in our conversation today, she's really looking to engage with the commission because it's going to help define what she does with this whole ready concept, right? Because
Yeah.
it's completely nascent, and she has a blank slate and she's trying to decide how to fill it. So yeah, but I'm grateful that she's the one working on that because I think
Yes.
that's capacity. It's really
Yeah,
good.
me too. I feel like I have a good colleague in multiple ways because she's actually really great for me for work as well. I mean, there's
Good.
some really good things that we can collaborate on there. And so, yeah, I just feel like in multiple ways, she's just a great
Brilliant.
to have in the city.
And next is figuring out who we're gonna hire for this office, which yeah, I don't know if she mentioned that, but yeah,
No, we didn't get to that yet.
we're getting there. I think she's seen the applicants, so I can say that much at least. We don't yet, where that goes from there is kind of up to her and Chip. So I'm gonna
Do we
leave
know
it to
anything
that.
about number of applicants or anything like that?
Yeah, great question. I know it's at least 5 or so. I don't know if she told me the exact number, but it's at least she mentioned some credentials of about 5 people. So there may be more, but
Cool.
yeah.
Good.
Yep. So she's looking at them closely and is elevating that up to Chip. So now we just wait to see what he says, and then I said just keep us posted on what do you want to do with the commission for next steps. So yeah, it's moving finally.
Finally.
It's cool. It's a lot of foot right now, and we've been in the office. All right, ooh, that was a big thunderclap. Been in the office, and so it's everything's picking up again. It's like the old days, and so it's it took me like 3 hours just to put up agendas today because it was like constant phone calls and door knocking. And so
Good that you're available.
I'm available. It's just maybe become less available for administrative tasks, unfortunately, but I can hide sometimes and get that done too.
So who are we waiting for? I know Jessica was coming, and who else are we waiting for?
Let's see, who else is on this committee? I used to have that handy, but
Mary? Yeah, Mary's supposed.
Mary is not on the community engagement. Jeanette is.
Oh, Jeanette. Okay, yeah, Jeanette.
I think it may just be Jessica and Jeanette that we're looking for here. And I mistakenly made a typo in sending a new email address to Brian to forward the invitation, but I think that's been fixed. So there she is. Speak of it, and there she is.
Hey,
That's
Jessica.
awesome.
Okay.
I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry. Today.
Just because I was about ready to blame it on me, like making typos in your email address. So I'm glad you're here.
No worries. I was like, my timer's running over, and I was like, Todd gonna be texting me soon.
No,
I'm here.
cool. We haven't seen Jeanette yet. She's on this committee. Am I correct, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay, and you're confirming that as well. I think she was going to take notes, so I'm really glad she's because I don't want to fail you all in like giving you notes like a week to 2 weeks later, but that's what will happen if I have to take notes this time.
Okay. You said I'm taking on. I thought Jeanette is Jeanette on here. Is that what you were saying?
I thought you
Jeanette, we're waiting. Yeah, Jeanette is
Okay.
the last one we're waiting for.
Okay.
I believe she volunteered to take notes, but if
She did.
whomever, it's so easy because you have the Boxcast to work from if you're not trying to do live notes. Jeanette's pretty adept at live notes, but anyway. Yeah.
I'm seeing the storm come through. Well, it's not here yet, but the clouds are just getting darker and darker outside my window.
It's headed your way. It's downtown right now.
Is it? Okay. It's coming out here.
Do you want me to? I can send a text to Jeanette to see if she's planning on being here.
Have you been, Jessica?
I've been good. Today has been a whirlwind day.
Oh,
How are you?
good, good. Yeah,
How
I
are
was,
you, Andy?
Good. Last, less than 2 weeks of school, I guess. Yeah, just a little more than a week of school left. So we've got all the sort of end of the school year stuff to organize. My wife's been volunteering at Walker, doing something like field day and things like that. So it's kind of a fun time, but it's also a lot of sort of things going on.
Juggling. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Lindell. You were about to say something.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna put a plug in for the soul food joint on the downtown mall.
Oh,
Oh my
where?
gosh, that is such good food. It's
Wait a
on East
minute.
Market. It's on East Market. So it's not on the mall side, but it's on the Market Street side. And they have an outdoor patio, which is where, where I ate, and just like incredible music and food. And, it was just unbelievable. They have fried deviled eggs. I don't know about you, but that sold me. I was like, okay, I'm there. And it was so good. Really good.
What's the name? Oh, cool. Can you message me the
Yep.
offline?
Yep. Yeah, well, we should meet there, Jessica. I'll take you to lunch.
Well, I will not turn that down. Yes, sign me up.
All right.
And y'all got to meet Todd in person, and we hang out, we gave out some flowers at Friendship Court, and it was Todd is amazing, but he's amazing in person too. That was a lot of fun. My
Yeah.
kids were there. It was good.
The
Todd
kids
is
were
the
super
best.
fun. That was awesome. That was like, that added a lot to the day to have them kind of out there with us. It was really cool.
Yeah, I've run into Todd at multiple events. He seems to be everywhere when there's these in-person things. I don't know how you do it, but it's incredible.
I haven't figured out how to duplicate myself like Charlene did. I'm pretty sure that she was able to do that, because I'm almost positive she was in 2 locations at once on multiple times.
I believe that too.
Well, I haven't heard back from Jeanette. It's 5:10. And since we have a stacked meeting, should we dive in and then just hope that maybe she's going to be able to come and join us?
Yep.
Jessica, are you chair of this committee as well
Yes.
as the other one? Okay, cool. I thought so. I'll leave it to you.
Okay. Sorry, Todd. I'm really under.
Let me know if I can be of any support to you as you do it.
No, okay. So I'm just trying to pull up the agenda. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, so we should begin with our call to order and then roll call.
Call to order at 5:11 by Michael Clock.
Okay.
And then we just have to all do present, or you have to call our names out, or?
Okay.
Yeah, I think in this case, there's just 3 of you. So maybe just each say your name in whatever order you choose.
Okay. Lindell.
Andy,
Jessica.
Okay.
We're here. Okay, all right, and then let's do our mission statement.
Okay.
Act as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity by providing citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights. It's always awkward, but it's always good. All right, Todd, do we have any members from the public here today?
Molly is the committed one attendee this evening. Molly, if you would like to speak this evening, feel free to raise your hand and we'll get you live. And she doesn't appear to be raising her hand yet, but we'll keep an eye
Okay.
on that. But maybe we can
All
assume we can move on.
Thanks, Molly, for being here. And if you're live tweeting, thank you in advance. So there is no response to the public because there are no public comments. So we have to just approve the minutes from last meeting. Can we just do like we've done in our Human Rights Commission and just all give a thumbs up approval for that? Okay.
Good. Maybe we'll just say orally that it was a unanimous approval of the 3 commissioners that were here.
Perfect. Okay. And can someone else take notes today? It's hard to sorry lead and take notes.
No,
Okay, thank you. And then we have to talk about the review of the resolution for the procedures for advocacy and action. Is that something you have, Todd? Sorry.
So I'll give you some context on this. So this is the resolution that I originally provided to you all as a template to think about maybe your own like community engagement procedures resolution. But I wanted to bring it to you all because I pitched this to Mary and Catherine a long time ago because I'd seen it reemerge several times in the larger commission meeting where we wanted to take action, or the commission wanted to take some action in between commission meetings, but there wasn't a clear protocol. It sort of been talked about, but not really talked about as the chair being the spokesperson. But how do we, what is the protocol when something hasn't been discussed by the commission and some action is desired? And so this was an attempt at making some clear guidelines around that so that it wouldn't become an issue over and over again. And so that's all this is. And I figure because now you all exist as a committee and because Mary and Catherine are also quite busy, I thought maybe if you all put your first eyes on it, I think it fits well within the purview of this committee to take a look at it, review it, and then maybe if you think it's good, we can bring it up at the next full commission meeting and you can say, we looked at this, we revised this, and we think it's good. If you think it's good, commission, maybe vote to adopt, because you can't vote to adopt anything, but the full commission can, but you can propose things to the commission to adopt. So that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I don't know if we want to spend time here today going over it, but it's something we can like do offline and like provide edits. Is this the document you're also hoping that we could use to help us with language with the communication plan?
Yeah, and because it has all those whereases already, and a lot of those whereases are probably similar to what you want to do when you're thinking about broader HRC communication. So I thought that might be helpful. You may add some other ones, but it gives you just a starting point so you don't have to recreate that.
Okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Todd. I just have a quick question when it comes to these whereases. Do we have to use those things? Do we have to use that kind of language, or can we just use plain language and, bullet points? I'm just curious because, it is very daunting for some people, and I think it's sometimes an accessibility thing. So I would just like to throw that out there as if we don't have to use that sort of officious legal language, that I would just make a plea for plain language.
It's a great question. I don't exactly know. This is just something that I learned kind of on the fly because the first one I wrote, I was mentioning to Charlene and the commission about the SISRAP program, right? The Charlottesville Supplemental Rental Assistance Program, and how maybe the commission would want to advocate for its continuation. That was back in 2018. And Charlene said, here's the binder of old resolutions, draft something similar to this.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the convention of the whereases comes from. I think it's sort of standard practice where you do whereas, sort of like, here's the background information. And therefore be it resolved that we want to do this, right? It's sort of, that is the way. And so it may just sort of be like a citywide convention. I don't know if it's under state law that it comes from that. I really don't know. I'll put it in my notes to ask.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I would really like, if it's not something that is required by law, just convention, that I have no trouble bucking convention in favor of, more accessibility for people. I just think it would be great if people could just pick this up and look at it and understand what we're saying very easily.
I will ask that, unless Brian knows that question. I don't know if he's hanging around or if he's managing like 4 other webinars, but I don't know. I'll ask. I'm sure Kina will have an answer for that because she's the clerk. So. Cool. Good point.
Actually, that brings up an idea that I was thinking of, it just came to me, but in the vein of us doing this and being out with Todd with those pamphlets, and something I'm passionate about, what you said, Lindell, is a lot of what we do is very like it's a lot of language. And I remember, Todd, when you showed me and we spent like one-on-one time, you were just breaking down to like the process of when you put it in a complaint and what happens. Like there's a lot of the work that we do that's just really wordy. And so I wonder if we can't change that language, if maybe we can come up with like nice graphics. Linda, I was thinking about the person that you brought in for the NAC, like just like someone to help us graphically in like simple words and terms, like put down like what we're saying, what we're doing. That way it's a lot easier. So you could have like a graphic, or infographic is what I'm calling it. So like words and pictures to describe what we're doing, but then it can point them to like our website, like for the actual, like here, see whatever our website link is. Because I think it's a big barrier. Like we want to help people, but even when we were going to door, a lot of people just didn't know. They were like Human Rights Commission and what, like I remember one lady I was calling you to help me with, like she does a language barrier. And I don't know what language she's speaking, but she's like, what is this? Like I don't work. Like when would I reach out to this? What would I do? So is that like I would like for our group to work on that.
And this would be something that's sort of supplemental, like we still have the kind of required language, but then we kind of condense it into something that can be more public.
Yeah.
I think that you could, the other way to go about that, you could do the same. And I started to kind of do that with the ordinance, especially because I was trying to document the reasons for the changes that the commission had proposed in more legible language. But I think you can do that. You can certainly create like supplementary documents that accompany anything that you produce that explains it in non-technical terms. I think that's a brilliant idea. It's just a matter of who does that, and do you have the capacity to crank all that stuff out? And then we do now have permission to put it all up on the website, which is super awesome. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to creating that page yet. It's certainly on my list of things to do, and it won't take me long. It'll probably take me like maybe 3 hours to do all that work, but it's a great way that we could put companion documents, like or explanatory documents, that sort of thing. We'd probably still, I'd probably still, for the more like sensitive stuff, I'd still run it by Allison just to make sure I didn't explain something that's going to get us in trouble. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, same here. Thanks, Jessica. That was
So
really good.
So I know it was idea, it's like very broad, but maybe we can start on like a document. Maybe we start on our ordinance and maybe think about like brainstorm offline, like in a Google form, just kind of like what visually we think we'd want there. Does that sound like a good plan for everyone?
I would like that.
Which document?
Our ordinance.
Okay, got it.
Keep in mind that I'm going to like add like 15 pages to that ordinance with all the FAP amendments. So you may don't get too deep into it because it may get all messed up again. But
Okay.
the other thing you could do, because you could just, rather than retroactively working on that document, this is just a suggestion, take it or leave it. But because you are working on your community engagement plan, why not start there? Like start with the thing that you're trying to actively push forward, and then maybe that would be a good place to start, and then set the precedent for. And it's a simpler document because the ordinance is like it's hard. Yeah,
it is. Okay, I like the idea. So doing it with our communication plan document, that's what you mean?
Yeah. Simultaneously making it both detailed and also accessible, right? Like here's the basic,
okay.
This is really what we're trying to accomplish. Here's what we're doing. Yeah, I love that.
Can y'all remind me? I think we were supposed to be working on that offline in between meetings, and then last month was a blur. So sorry, where we are at, did we start a draft of that, or we need to start a draft of that document? I think Jeanette was going to take that on. I can't remember.
Yeah, I have to look back at the minutes. I'm not sure that anyone maybe committed to getting it going.
Yeah, Jeanette says
there it
Jeanette
is.
will work on creating a draft resolution using framework from the, okay.
There you go. Yep.
So maybe we'll just check in with her once we get off, and then we can follow up. I like that. And then I'm sorry, Todd, remind me, there were some documents you wanted to share with us about the community flyers that you already have. You shared that with us already?
I did. I shared so I shared the new fair housing brochure as well with the updates about source of funds. And then I shared I think I shared that one. I very recently got sort of approval to just go forward with it, but it should be on, they should all be on Box in I think I put a community outreach folder up there. I'd have to look again what I named the folder, but there's like a folder inside that there's two subfolders, like current outreach materials and old outreach materials. And I think it contains everything. So the current stuff is stuff I've revised
it.
already. And then
Okay.
there's a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't revised. And there may be some old archival stuff that I haven't dropped in there yet, but I just put mostly in the things that, that are sort of most useful right now. The one thing I didn't drop in is the giant reentry resource guide, which I think it's such a project. It took me a month of phone calls and writing to finish it last time. And that was when I first started at the OHR, when I had time. I could not do it right now. And I almost think that it might be better to live at like Home to Hope or something like that. So I don't think I dropped that document in there, but I will, because it's a good resource. So.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. So I think maybe also, I guess would add, like, when we're doing the engagement resolution, that the other part that we can maybe think about zhuzhing up is the word I want to say, because I don't have a better word at the moment, but it are also these documents, because I thought that was interesting, like the one that we were giving out at Friendship Court. Let me look back at it. It says what we do and like how to contact, but I think it's just missing that, like, when should you reach out? Like, what are the things that would provoke you to reaching out to the Human Rights Commission? I think that's not as clear getting this, like.
Could you share this? Do you have it up that you could share the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can share the screen.
Yeah,
I think can I share the screen? Yeah. So I mentioned that when we were, when we went to Friendship Court, because one thing I love about doing outreach is you actually don't know what you don't know, or what you're not presenting most effectively until you're talking to people. And then you're like, oh, I need to change this. I need to adapt that. So that's that outreach brain of mine kicking in. But this is the, this is the flyer, correct, Todd? This is the one we gave out. Looks like the one we gave out. So it's a 2-pager pamphlet that's printed just in these sizes here.
Yep.
Okay, and here's the second page.
So, thank you. Todd, did you write this?
Yes, this is a much more condensed version of a much more complicated brochure that I had written a few years ago.
Right. So I will say that as someone who is really, really into plain language, this is really good, right? I mean, I think Jessica's right. It would be nice to have, what would trigger you to do this, what would make you do it. But I think you did a really good job in writing this.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And I hear what Jessica's saying. And I think the old brochure may have had more of that, what would trick you to do this? Like, it talked about protected activities and protected classes and some examples of discrimination. The thing is, most people that call me have, like, the stories are, there's no two stories that are the
Right.
same. And in the fair housing brochure, I've given much more specific examples because I think it's a very nuanced sort of system that people are trying to navigate. So in that I do get into detail. In here, I just want people to call me, even if they don't know if it's discrimination. I can walk them through that, because most people don't understand the first time I talk about, an allegation of discrimination has to show, a protected activity, a protected class, an incident with resulting harm, right? Like I don't trying to just to explain prima facie to people is like, "Ugh, don't talk to me about that, right?
But I think,
Yeah,
well, I just want to say real quickly, like, I think saying, just having a flyer, something like that, you don't know what discrimination is, but you feel like it's happened to you want to talk to someone, call Todd. Like, I really just feel like hashtag call Todd should be a thing. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. But I think like that simple language is like, you don't, like, even just saying like, you don't know what that is. Because when I was reading it, it is really good, Todd, and I'm not knocking it all. I like that it's really simple. I like that it's 2-page, like it's a 2-page thing. It's real quick and easy. But just being able to say to someone like, you don't know what that is, but you feel like it. I just wonder if people don't hesitate, because I always think like sometimes we think things have to be a big major thing. This big major explicit thing happened. And as a Black woman, a lot of my discrimination hasn't been these big major things. They've been these microaggressions that have built up over time. And I'm more aware of them. I'm very conscious of them. But someone may not know that that could be triggering a very hostile work environment. So like I said, like it may be different. We may have to provide like a lot of examples, but just something that says like, you don't know, but you feel like something's not right, call Todd. Like he can walk you through the
that's a
process.
brilliant. That's like a 1-sentence addition that I think I agree would add like a lot of clarity. And it's just like you say, it's like this. It's more like it makes you go, oh, this sounds really formal, just to make it sound like just call. Don't hesitate. If your gut feels wrong about something, give us a call and we'll walk you through whether or not it's something we can deal with. I can type something up like that. I like that a lot. I think it's really great.
I love that. I think it's absolutely perfect. And I think what I would maybe do is, instead of that logo up there, or maybe make it tinier at the bottom, replace it with a graphic of maybe somebody looking concerned, right? And big question mark, right? It's like, do you feel discriminated against, right? Has something happened that makes you feel that you've been discriminated against? Call me. Let's talk.
Yeah, and you know what? We also have, I think back a long time ago, they bought some pictures that we used on the old brochure of like there was someone in a wheelchair, there was someone who might be considered elderly, like there were people of different color, and there was somebody like with a burqa on. I could ditch the like formal logo thing and just like put those pictures back up, and maybe like a little tagline or something. I can work on that.
Yeah, and I think a big
And-
question mark is really useful, because I think that's what you're really saying here is, are you concerned? Like like Jessica said, is this a concern for you? Did something happen that hurt you or made you feel mistreated? Yeah, Jessica, this is awesome.
Yeah, and Todd, I don't know the budget wise, but I was also just thinking like can get thrown away, they get damaged, child pours water on it. But is it possible we have funds to do like a magnet for the refrigerator? I like those little magnets for the refrigerator, like if an emergency, like I call this number, but like having like Human Rights Commission, like question mark, the graphic, we're just saying like, call Todd, you have something. Of course he does.
I love the hashtag call Todd. I think we should make that a thing.
Yes.
Here's the old magnet. I think it's mostly up to date. Oh, it's a .org. I'd have to go print a bunch of new ones. I don't know where we got these, but I could try to recreate them. Yeah, I think we have a budget. I mean, we definitely have like money to do it. I just have to figure out where to do it and like, that kind of thing. But yeah, magnets are cool. We still have a stack of the old ones, but we do have to update it because it has the wrong web address and the wrong email on it now. So we still
Yeah, I
have
like the idea, like to simplifying it, like all those, like asking, like putting it like questions mark. Do you feel like you've been discriminated? Does something not sit right with you? Are you unsure? Should you formally file a complaint? Hashtag call Todd. Then provide your number. Which
but don't
you're
put my
probably
name
gonna
on
hate
it,
me
because then
for
when
it.
if
but
like I get
call,
run over
call
by
the
a
Office
bus,
of Human Rights.
you'll have to reprint all the magnets again. So just put
All right,
the general
hashtag
Office of Human Rights.
call Office of Human Rights.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
between you and us and the Twitter sphere, we're gonna say hashtag call Todd. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So how about this? If you all want to draft like a potential magnet or something, send me a design or whatever, and then you know, I don't know how much needs to go through committee or whatever, but I don't think you have to have like approval from the whole commission to create a magnet, but if you have ideas like for design, just send them to me and I can, see what I can do about getting them printed. I'm sure I'll just ask the city manager's office. They'll know where to do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Andy, if you want to put that in the notes, that I don't mind taking on that. Like if we iterate verbiage via
Okay.
email, and then I don't mind taking on like doing a graphic.
Just gotta follow up. Yep.
Do you, Jessica, have a copy of the existing magnet?
No, I don't.
All right, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you right now.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That'll be good. Yeah, I just like the idea of having something like if it comes up, because you'd imagine that these kind of things don't happen on a regular basis, but when they do, it's just nice to have that there. I don't know if we're still on script, Todd, where we are, but yeah.
So the other thing too is, in following up on that, is posting these things, magnets or laminated something in public spaces in which people congregate or go regularly, right? I think that's really important too.
Of course, Todd has something.
I used to see this is an outdated one, but I found it like I was digging around in paper in the office. And when I was at the hospital, and I got bit by a dog when I was visiting my parents in Missouri.
Oh no.
And they had a similar thing for like the Missouri like Human Rights Act. And I saw this, I don't know where I found this one. I think I found it just in the office, but I think that like something like this, where it was like, it said like Charlottesville Human Rights Ordinance, and it was like in the hospital, in the bus station, I don't know, wherever, and just so people know that like it exists could be really helpful.
What
I thought
about
that
on
was
the
a
city
pretty cool
buses?
thing. What's that?
Having a big sign on the city buses, right?
Yeah, inside the bus. Even.
That's what I mean. Yeah, inside
Yeah.
the buses. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe if you create a list of places and maybe we can create something like this, again, like this might be the distillation of the human rights ordinance that you're looking for, Jessica, like not
That's a
even
good
like a
idea.
whole companion document, but can you distill the human rights ordinance into one page? That would be amazing. And then just like, boop, put that out in there and then people know, and then, call the office if you have a question.
Do you want me to create a Google Docs that we could start making a list of places?
Put it in
Yes.
box,
Okay.
please, because if you
Well,
want it
Linda,
publicly accessible, put it in box.
Linda, if you want to start in Google, and I can move it to Box.
Okay,
But I
thank
think
you.
Yeah. If you start in Google and just share it with us, then I can move it to Box because I'm the one
Okay.
that got Todd on Box. And then I guess as I'm mentioning the places, it'll be that could be the start of what we're talking about with our communication plan.
Mhm.
But that we're saying we initially wanted it in social media places, but also specifically saying within the city where we want this communication.
Jessica, I'm just going to go ahead and make it available to anyone with a link,
Okay.
and then you can, yeah.
And then I'll move it to Box, Todd, I promise.
Thank you. You sold me on Box. When I first got on there, I was like, oh, this looks really complicated. And then I played with it for like half an hour. I'm like, hey, I like it a lot better than Google, but I know it's complicated for folks who don't use it all the time. So I respect that.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about this extensively. We wanted to discuss, we kind of did that already, but discuss the potential community engagement procedures resolution. Isn't that we kind of talked about that already?
That's the thing you're talking about. It's kind of your plan, right? Like, so when you
Mhm.
develop your community outreach kind of plan, put it into a resolution, because what happens, and here's why I say this, and I may have said this in other meetings, but the value of a resolution is it codifies your actions. So like this says like, we, the Human Rights Commission, agree that this is how we do things. And so if anyone calls into question why you're doing something, you can be like, well, pursuant to resolution A21-1, whether that's in, a letter or, whatever it happens to be, you can refer back to, we as a commission agreed that this is how we do things. And so that's why I suggest putting it in a resolution. Similar to the in between meetings activity, right? Like if Mary wants to type up a letter or a statement on behalf of the commission, she can say pursuant to this resolution, I submit this statement on behalf of the commission, whatever it happens to be. So that's the reasoning, because it shows that you've covered your bases and that you're acting as a unified whole.
Okay, so to our committee members here, do you feel like we could have a resolution drafted by next meeting, or do we need more time?
I'm willing to give it a shot. Andy, what do you think?
Is this the document that Todd has sort of started to outline in our meeting notes? I mean, in our agenda packet?
Yes, but tailoring it just for like what we were planning to do for our communication outreach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have a separate document. The one that's in your notes is really
Doesn't have-
specific to like director or commission action between meetings. What you're talking about is more of a community engagement plan. Yeah, but drafted in resolution form.
Do we know if Jeanette has put anything together yet?
That was something we said we were going to follow up with.
Okay.
I just got a
Sure.
text from Jeanette. She's actually kind of in the middle of assisting somebody kind of in an emergency situation. So, but I think we can follow up with her about that.
Yeah, so I guess I would propose, like, let's try to maybe have something drafted for our next meeting, at least to show, and then I think that's a good time frame. Okay. I have no new businesses. Anyone else have new business? Or Todd, do you have new business? Okay. All right. All right. We
I put the
open
link-
back up.
Sorry. Can I put the
You
link
put a
in
link in the
Is
chat.
is that okay to put the link in the Google Doc link in the chat? Or is that going to
Yeah.
cause problems, Todd?
You can do it. You just have to make sure that somebody grabs it out of there before we close the webinar, so you don't lose it.
Okay, got it.
I don't know if Andy, if you have the capacity to just grab it and drop it in your notes or something.
Mostly I want you to test it to make sure you can see it. I just threw some things in there, but
It is asking me for permission, so I think you have to change
okay, hold
permission
on.
settings.
All right, hang on. I'm going to do it now. Change link.
Speaking of capturing information from the meeting, where does the closed captioning text go to? Is there a way to capture the text of that, or does that just show up on the video?
That's a Brian question. I actually, that's a super question though. I don't know, because that would make it easier if you could just grab
I
it.
just clicked it. When you click closed captioning at the very bottom, it says save transcription. Oh, but Brian got on. Tell us, Brian.
Ditto.
Oh,
Do
I
you
see.
see it,
Okay.
Andy?
View full transcript. Got it.
I do think if you wanted to save it, you would need to hit that save button at the bottom before the meeting was over.
Cool. Okay. So kind of like the chat, you can save it the same way.
Yep.
As the chat. Okay.
The chat is automatically saved in your if you're on a PC, in your documents folder under
Right.
Zoom. If you're a host, at least. I don't know how that works for
Yeah,
participants.
I think any
But-
participants can save that as well, because I've
Yep.
done that for other meetings too. So yeah.
But I think if you're aggressive on the save
Right.
feature, then you'll have it both ways.
Yes.
Cool.
Thanks, Brian.
Jessica, I think would you check the document one more time? I think I've refreshed it now.
Yes.
Okay,
I got it.
excellent. Thank you.
Save it to my drive. Okay. So are there any, can we move to, is there anything else you guys want to discuss? All right, we'll move to, are there any matters from the public?
Molly's still our one attendee, and she does not have her hand raised currently, but welcome to if you'd like to. No hand raised.
Okay, and there's no response. So I think we can adjourn our meeting. Do we have to vote to adjourn?
No.
Okay, we can adjourn at 5:43 p.m.
Great.
Great.
Thank you, Andy, for taking notes.
Sure.
Yeah. Andy,
Yeah.
you can just send it to me in whatever draft form you have, and I'll drop it into the formatting and then do all the posting and all that stuff afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much for typing them, because with 4 committees, I'm not gonna
Right.
do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Great to
All
see you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we'll keep the webinar going for the 6 o'clock meeting.
Thank you, Brian. And I'm glad to know about the saving the text there. That might be actually faster than my listening and typing. So that's good to know.
Yeah, Todd, I'm not sure if I'm actually on the legal committee. Could you describe again what it is they're going to be working on? Maybe that will remind me if I signed up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I it could be that I mistakenly like captured you in the minutes as being interested in it, but and it's sort of something I brought up. It's sort of spawned by well, actually Wolfgang and Alex had been talking about public hearings a long time ago when I thought we might end up having a public hearing. So far that hasn't happened. And noting that, reading other people's procedure or other commissions' procedures on that, and basically noting that, you know, in a public hearing, that the oftentimes what happens is the respondent is going to come in with their attorneys, right? And not only that, if even before a public hearing, if we were to go into mediation or some sort of alternative dispute resolution, a respondent is frequently going to lawyer up as soon as there's anything that looks like they're going to have to try to negotiate something, right? Or be accused, the respondent feels accused of something and they want legal defense. So the thought being that, you know, most complainants are individuals filing a complaint against some larger entity, be it a business or a corporation or whatever, what have you, right? You know, large landlord or something that has the capacity, if it doesn't already have legal representation, has the capacity to get it quickly.
Right.
Whereas the complainant is often an individual who may not have means at all. And so the idea being that, why don't we establish a fund that if you meet certain income qualifications, and I kind of list that all in this draft resolution, that you can qualify for some funds to seek legal counsel, be it for, you know, mediation, public hearing, or just to kind of figure out what your best path forward is, because I can't provide legal guidance. One, I'm not an attorney, and number two, I'm a neutral party to a complaint, right? I have to investigate and remain impartial, so I can't give advice. So that was the thought, and
Yeah.
legal,
So
yeah.
I'm sure that I expressed interest in that because I mean, obviously I support that idea, right? But I don't know that I am qualified or need to be on that particular committee. I think I would rather just wait and vote yes. I support.
Well, that's fine. I think only, and maybe Jessica forgot, I don't know if she's coming back. She might be coming back.
Might be coming back.
It's only Jessica and Catherine at the moment, if you're not there. So it's up to you, obviously. I don't want to put any pressure on you. I think that, you know, right now what's on the table is Catherine's going to bring any research that she did around how UVA handles Title IX complaints with regard to legal representation. And then I have a draft resolution, which you saw if you looked at the big meeting packet from
Right.
May.
Yeah.
It's just the same. It's the exact same one. I haven't touched it since then. I just
Okay.
drafted it and just kind of threw it out there for y'all to look at. So, you know, I'm sure your eyes would be helpful on it, but yeah, totally accept capacity limitations and time.
Yeah, actually, more than anything, I've just got like a really bad headache. I'm really interested, but my headache is like,
Yeah.
So, but I think, you know, obviously Catherine has the expertise in this area, and Jessica, if she does come back, is really great at looking at things, right? I mean, she's just,
Yeah. Totally.
she's just one of my favorite people.
That's great. Yeah, you're totally not committed to having to do that. So-
Okay, well then I think I'll miss this one, but if it's needed, I'll pop in later at a different meeting if we need to.
Great. And you'll of course get to see like the resolution again. It's going to resurface at the next, probably at the June meeting. So
Okay, sounds great.
Very
Well, thank
good.
you
Well-
very much.
yep, you bet. Good to see you, and
Right.
hang out here for the next round.
Okay, take care. Bye.
You're back.
Thanks,
That's good.
Todd.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I was like, there was 2 links that sent out. I thought I was supposed to go to the second link.
Yeah, I guess the other one's for tomorrow. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it just went to everybody. I just had Brian send it to the whole commission. Of course, send it to your wrong address a couple of times as well. You know, I thought that would be valuable. So I don't think you're on either of the committees tomorrow, right?
No, but I was looking at it. I was freaking out. Like, I can't do that meeting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, totally. Nope. Yep. I was trying to pay attention to all that scheduling stuff. So
So
Good.
Catherine's supposed to be on here.
Catherine's supposed to be on here. Lindell, after you hopped off, Lindell and I talked about it because she wasn't on last time, and she wasn't feeling up to it today. And she said she's supportive, but she doesn't feel like she probably be more adept or apt to just review whatever this committee comes up with in the larger meeting. So I don't know. We'll see. Might just be you and me.
Again.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't think, I know Catherine was traveling before, but I don't think that's the case this week. So
Yeah. I don't have her like contact information, so
I don't know that I do either to like text her or anything. I'll send her an email.
okay. Sounds good.
Okay, I'm back from email land. Probably looked like I was staring off into space, but I was typing an email.
No worries.
Did you have a chance to look at this draft resolution that I attached to this?
No.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed since.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a good place to start. I'm really
Okay.
curious to see what Catherine learned about UVA.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was just thinking, I want her to be here so she could report out what she
Yep.
was gonna look up.
I'm gonna just keep watching email here to see if she responds. She may have gotten tied up in something too.
And our meeting was really quick last time.
It was, yep. And it's okay. I mean, we can always, table it till you have time to kind of read and process the initial proposed, resolution. And then maybe Catherine maybe she can give us a summary of what she learned as well.
Yeah.
My
What happens if
hunch-
we're not able?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, what happens if we're not able to meet? We just reschedule it for next month or another time?
Yeah, we would reschedule. We could probably for next month, since we've already used up a
Dinner.
lot of June time on Brian's end. I don't want to
Okay.
over ask. One of the things that I'm going to suggest, and I'll just mention it here, but suggest to the full commission is that we maybe pick some standing days for each month, if that's like the first and second Thursdays of the month, where we book 2 hours on each of those to hold 2 committee meetings. That might make it really a lot easier for people. I have a feeling that, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I think it was such a complex scheduling thing that maybe some folks are like forgetting which committee they're on and which day their committee is meeting. That might totally be the case. So anyway, it might help. And so maybe we'll propose that.
The only thing I wish that we had is, for me, I'm a person that have to put everything on my calendar. And the thing about these is they don't automatically like get sent in a calendar invite. That maybe if that could help people.
I may test that out. I've never tried using Outlook, and this may be possible. It just may be my like Outlook skill deficiencies here, but like maybe I'll try to send it to the Human Rights Commission group as a calendar invite and see if that works. I don't know that Charlene ever did that, but it might work. And if that's the case, that would be a lot easier. I agree.
Yeah, I know. I use that with my job. Like even if people don't have Outlook and I still send it to them, they still will get it as an invite. And so if, I don't know how other people are, but I know that's how I am. I go everything about my calendar. And so
yeah,
it's like for this, like because I know we don't get calendars, like I'll just make a point, like, all right, Todd sent this and we add it to my calendar real quick. But other than that, like I'll just it's not even intentional, just life happens. And
yep.
Right now I'm trying to get food on the table, so it's like you just lose time and you're just like, oh
Totally.
crap, I had something today.
Yep. No, I fully agree with the calendar invite, because then you hit that little green check mark, and if you're using a computer calendar, boom, it's on your calendar and you don't have to remember it. So I agree. I may send out like just a practice test invite for maybe the next meeting or something like that, just to see if it works, or maybe just one that doesn't even have a meeting attached and just say, don't attend this meeting. It's just a test. Let me know if you got it or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Cool. I love that. Thank you. You're always bringing me good thoughts that I should see, obviously, but
no, it's one of those.
Say, hey.
No, it's just one of those things that like I realize it's processes, and we all don't think the same way as about stuff, and so.
Yep. It's good. Yep. And sometimes it's just like I'm so busy with the other details of it that I missed that piece of it. But I agree. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was wondering if it's even possible. So we should just test it.
Yeah, just test it and see.
Yep.
So do you want to call this and just reschedule it, or?
I think so. I'm not sure that this merits
Okay.
minutes, because there's no action taken, or really.
None.
So we'll just follow up. What would be from your perspective? I can email you, and I don't know if Lindell wants to see it, but you and Catherine at least just email. Well, you have the resolution. You have it in several forms. I think in the previous agenda packet, this agenda packet, it's probably in draft form on Box. I'm not sure if I put it there or not, but it's in multiple places. But I can send it.
It's on Box.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you just just message us and just say to Catherine, like, hey, we missed this meeting, the action items, or did you have any follow-up about the Title IX from UVA, and then we were going to edit this document.
Yeah.
That way we could still working on it.
That seems good. And the edit piece can happen off, out of meeting time.
Offline. That's what I was thinking.
You can just discuss it, when you're together to refine it or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
I like this idea of setting set times.
Yeah. It'll make it easier
makes it
for
easier for people.
everybody, and for Brian too, and his team. I hope.
Yes. Well,
And
thank you,
and
Brian,
for
for
Molly,
hanging
too.
on. Yeah, thank you, Molly. I was just gonna say thank you, Molly, for being patient and being on here with us.
It's dedication. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, great. I guess we're technically, I don't know if we even have a chair of this committee, but it sounds like we're in consensus that it's adjourned.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
All
Well,
right.
thanks so much. I'll see you around.
Yes. See you around, Todd. Bye, Brian. Bye, Molly.
Good night.
Good
So
night.
Todd, we're done with this one?
Yeah, Brian, I think we are.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll get it together. Oh, and Catherine just sent me an email. Let me check. I was in and left because no one let me in. Curious.
I wonder if she went to that other link.
I bet she went to the tomorrow's link. Wow. Okay. What do you want to hold that
I
thought?
can keep on. Yeah.
Okay. Hey all, so it's been about 10 minutes since I communicated with Catherine by email, so she may have moved on to something else. I don't know if you are both still here, Jessica and Brian.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm gonna take it that, I sent her 2 emails, one at 6:15, one at 6:20, haven't heard back, so maybe we just postpone and I'll let her know by email again, so. Thanks
Okay,
for, we made an attempt. It's super confusing with all these meetings, so.
it is.
Hopefully we'll get some standing times and that'll make it a lot easier for everybody. And great.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
all. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.